Okay guys, now let's move to the coding part of our project to manipulate our user interface. So as I told you in the first videos, when we select this view controller scene and go to the class inspector, it has assigned view controller class, which is that one. Whatever we write in this view controller class, it will have an effect in the scene. Okay, not in the scene in the main storyboard, but when we run our app, have it will have a difference. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to delete this view controller. I'll click a backspace and I'll move to trash. The only reason I want to do this because I want to create a new class which is exactly the same but give to it a different name, which will be a login VC, login view controller. Okay, I'll right click on the Facebook folder, new file. Here we select Cocoa Touch class. Here subclass, make sure that you have selected UI view controller. Here we'll write login VC. I'll click enter and I'll save it in our project folder. Okay, so this is a new file which we have created, a login VC. Okay, so this is the class. We need to assign this class to the our view controller scene. So select your view controller, go to class inspector, delete that one, and right here login VC. It must show you this prediction of the name. In case if it does not, delete your class because means you have not made it of subclass category of UI view controller, and create a new class again and selecting the subclass of it UI view controller. Okay, so now our view control login scene is connected with a login VC class. If you click this button, it will just throw you here. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to change the appearance of the text fields first of all. As we see them on the original app, they are with a little bit curved corners and having the border of the gray color and the separator line between them. Okay, so this is what we will do. But how to access this text field in our coding class? Here. So we need to make a reference from this text field to the coding class. What we will do is select your text fields view, which is that one. You can do it with opening left panel and selecting view. Go to the assistant editor, click on it. So that is the one. It will show you on the downside, it will show you the login VC class. Select the view, hold Ctrl and left mouse click drag inside our class, which is written here class, and release it. Okay, so here I want to call it text fields view because it is the view which stores text fields. So I'll write text fields view of type UI view outlet and connect. Okay, so then we need to have a connection to the login text field as well, but we will skip it for a while. Okay, let's now go directly to our login class. So let me explain for those who are quite new in development. So I will remove these green ones. These are the comments. If you want to write a single line comment, you can do it with just / single line. If you want to write, let's say, a 2-line comment, it won't allow you. In this case, you might put slash and asterisk and close it with the asterisk and slash. So here you can now write thousands of lines. Okay, I'll remove these comments. I'll remove this protocol or this function. So this states did receive memory warning. So whatever in this closures, whatever is here in this space, whatever we write different code here will be executed once the app or the iPhone will receive a memory warning message. Let's say that there is no enough memory, so and so. So I'll remove that one because we don't need it. Here I will make a break, and whatever we write in this function, which is view.didLoad, will be executed once the app is loaded and the scene is presented to the user. Okay, here these are our IB outlets, and I call it UI objects. That one is first function, or firstly executed function, executed when the scene is loaded. Okay, so let's say we will run our app, or we will open our app. So as soon the login scene is loaded, so it will run whatever in these closures. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to change the appearance of our text fields. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at this because we want to do a minor changes. So first of all, I want to make a border of this, like a line, like here, this line. I want to create a separator line, and I want the corners to be rounded. So three things which I want. I want to place a border for this, some stroke. Step number one. Step number two, I want to create a separated line. And step number three, I want the corners to be rounded. Okay, let's do it. We are coming back to our login VC. What I will do, I will create here a separated function, which is we write func configure text fields view, open and close round brackets, open curly brackets, and we'll write here. This function stores code which configure appearance of the text fields view. Okay, let's write here. So as we say, the first which we want to do is we want to create a border. So I'll write here let border. So this is the constant which we declare, let border. So means create a constant with the name border, which will be replying to the class, or which is of type CA layer. We will make a layer around it. Okay, and then let's declare a width for this border. Let width, which means create a constant which will be equals to CG float 2. So which will be having a 2 pixels. And then we write border dot border color. We want it to be a group table view color. This is a basic standard color of the Apple user interface. So when you go to attribute inspector, here we have selected group table view background color. So it's like a very gentle, very soft gray color. This is the name of this color. So here we write equals to, you can write dot, or let's do it UI color dot group table view background color dot CG color. Why it is CG color? Because border color, if we jump to definition, it is of type CG color. So we must convert it to CG color, because just a group table view color, it is of type of UI color. Okay, we have done it. Then we need to declare a frame for this border. Okay, we write border dot frame equals to CG rect, which means rectangle frame. Open the round bracket and select the function xy width and height. X will be 0, height will be 0, and the width will be the width of our text fields view. We write here text fields view dot frame dot width, and the height will be text fields height. So we write here text fields view dot frame dot height, and so we wrote it. Now we will declare this width of the border we have declared. We need to assign it to the border because currently it's a separate constant. Okay, we'll assign it to our border. Border dot border width equals to width. Okay, excellent. So we can do one thing. We can, without declaring a width constant, we can declare it like this, equals 2. But in this case, I would like us to create a separate constant with a reference to the width. Okay, so how we can do the same for the color? I'm giving you 5 seconds to get the answer. It's a very simple question for the experienced developer. So we need to create a new constant. Let's say let color equals to UI color dot group table view color CG color, and we will make it equal to color. Okay, so this is how we do it. So what we have done here, let me take you through this. We have created a border. We've created a constant with the name of border, which means we have dedicated one cell of memory in our iPhone or any device running iOS with the name border, which will be of type CA layer. So if we hold Command, Control, and left mouse click, it will take us to this class. So all of these properties we can use. If you have watched my another course, which is a full Swift course from dummy to advanced, so then definitely you know how to work with the classes. Okay, so this is a border we have created. Then we have created a new constant with the name width, which is of type CG float, and it equals to 2. Then we have created a new constant with the name color, which stores this color. Then we have assigned the border color to our color. Then we have assigned our border width to the width value. Then we have declared this frame. So I will put it in this way. So this is what we have done. Let me do it in that way. Okay, so this is what we have done, and regarding this frame I would like to explain to you. Okay, so we see that x is 0 if we would put, let's say, x 10. So our x alignment will be moved to the 10 pixels, but we want it to start from the top left corner of our view and stretch it like this. So we start from vertically it's 0, horizontally it's 0, which is that one. Then we stretch it to the width and to the height of the view. We stretch it to this point. This is what we have done here. And it has border width. We didn't fill it with any object. So this is what we have done. If you want a more clear explanation, let me do it for you. Okay, so we have taken this frame from, let's say this is the screen. We have taken it from this point and we stretch it like this. So we started from 0, 0 and we stretch it here. This is what we have done. Okay, now we have done with the border line and we need to work on the line itself. So I'll create now new constant with the name line. Let line equals to CA layer again. Then we will declare the width of the line. It will be the same line width, border width equals to width, because if you pay attention, these lines are equal. Okay, border width equals to the width, then border color, line dot border color equals to color. And then we need to declare the frame of this. Line dot frame equals to cgrect, open round bracket, select this method xy width and height. So x, it will be 0 because we want to start it from 0. And what do you think? What will be the width, the vertical position of this? So you have a 5 seconds to get the right answer. So the vertical position of the line, we want it to be in the middle of our view, TextFields view. So what we can do here, we can get the middle of this right dividing the height of the view by 2. Let's say the height is, for example, 250 divided by 2, 100, 125 will be the middle of this one. So what I will do here, I won't write here 125, I'll just do it programmatically. So we write TextFields view dot frame dot height divide by 2 and minus width. So why we have done this part minus width? Okay, so let's say the height of our view is 250 pixels. 250 pixels divided by 2, it will give us the exact center, so 125. So 125 means our line will start from 125, let's say it's that point, this is 125, and it will add 2 pixels and go in this way. So the line will be in the position of the arrow where I'm pointing right away here, and it will go like this. So we're deducting width so it can move up and to be exactly in the center of this. So that is the trick. Okay, so the width of the line, we want it to have the exact same width as our TextFields view. So the width we write here, TextFields view.frame.width, and the height of this one will be our width. So this will be the width. Height means this is the height. Okay, so what we will do now, we've created this 2 layers or 2 lines. We need to assign them to the text field. Okay, so here I write text field view dot layer dot add sublayer, which will be a border, and then it will be line. Text field view dot layer dot add sublayer, which is line. Okay, so here we wrote text field view, go to the layer, then add to the layer category or to the layer class or library a border. This is this one, what we've created. And do again, go to the text field view, go to the layer room, I would call it room, and add to this room a line. That's the one. Okay. Then this is a step 2. We have created now the border and we've created now the line, and we need a third step, which is around corners. Okay, so we will now move to the right corners, round corners. So here we write text field view dot layer dot corner radius equals 5. Okay, so here let me write a comment for you. Here we are declaring constants to store some information, which later on will be assigned, later on will be assigned to certain so-called objects. Let's say border. Here we are creating layer to be a border of the view. Here we are creating layer to be a line in the center of the view. Okay, here we are assigning created layers to the view. So here we just created them, but we did not assign them. So we just created them, we need to assign them. So that one, cornered or rounded corners. 5 means make it round by 5 pixels. Okay, we can run this. We can run our app and it won't be shown. It will have no effect. Why it will have no effect? Because we declared this code in this function and we didn't run the function. Okay, so this function, which is executed when the scene is loaded, so we can try to write it here. Configure TextFields. Okay, so I'll just run it. And if you see now, it's not properly, there is some mistake. I will explain you why. Those who are advanced will understand me more easily. For the new people in programming, they will have to learn it as a rule. So how the Xcode, how it compiles the code. So the step, everything is happened maybe in 0.0001 seconds, but how the chronology goes. So when you launch the app, first it will load the existing frame, the existing sizes of the objects. So as you remember, for the smaller screens, they were not aligned and they were in a different position. So the original width of this view is still here. So then we align it, it got stretched. So first it will load everything with the original sizes without alignment. I'll repeat, without alignment. So after it's loaded everything successfully, then the step number 2 will be to load alignment. So everything happens so fast and so you can't notice any changes. So we see that now the app is aligned, but before it gets aligned, so it just first loads, then it aligns the app. So in this case, we need to run configure text field function in the method which is executed once after the app got aligned. So I'll come back to login VC. I'll here declare a new native protocol. I'll emphasize native. For example, view did load, it's a native function. Configure text field, it's a manual function. Native means which already it has while running the app, before running the app. So here I'll write did layout subviews. So this is the one. Override means it will be overridden. And here we'll write super.view did layout subviews, and we will declare this function. I will cut it from this and I will declare it here. So that one executed after aligning the objects. Okay, I will just now run it. So we won't see here the difference because we need to change the background color of this, of our view. We come back to main storyboard. We select the view, we go to the attribute inspector. Here we select the default one, which is white one, and we'll run it. Yeah, the objects gets invisible because both colors are white. So here we go. We see that there is a frame around this and there is a frame in the center of it. but the frame didn't get round because as a rule, whenever you round the corners, you must do the following. TextFields view dot layer dot masks to bounce equals true. Okay, so now you see that the corners are rounded well. In case those who are willing to increase this gap, it's quite simple. We can go to main storyboard, single click on it, select these objects which are connected with the view like this, hold shift and click down arrow like this, so we create a 10 pixels more gap, then go to the yellow mark here, go to the text fields view because all other objects are connected to the text field view. Click that one, update constraints. So now everything is done. You can rerun the app and we see there is a more gap here. You can do the same with this button because you might feel it too close. Select the forgot password and button because forgot password is connected with the button. Hold shift one time, it will add 5 pixels, and one time more. Shift and arrow on your keyboard one time, click it down. So we click this yellow button, we go to the login, we'll just update constraints for the login button, and for forgot password it will get updated automatically. So we will rerun our app and we see that there is a more bigger distance. So this is how it works. So that's the login, but in my case I don't like that login. I feel is not centered well. So let's now fix it because in programming you'll be always fixing and aligning them, all the objects. So I'll create a group table view. So it's up 15 and down 16, so I'll move it up to make it 11, something like this. "13 down and 13 up." So we click again this yellow button here, we update the constraints like this. And we can run this app again, but don't forget to make the background color white. So here we go, now it looks much more better. Okay, so this is how we configure them, but you might feel that the height of this is not enough, it's too short. What you can do is you can increase the height of the button, let's say to 40 pixels in the size inspector, or let's say to 38 or 35, and then you will just click on this button, update constraints. Here we go, that's it. Let's see it now, but what I would advise you to keep these two buttons with the same height. I think now is much more better. I would advise you to keep these two buttons with the same height. What I have done, I have extended I increased the height of this button, so as you see it's moved down, so I will just now move it up. Here I'll write 612. Here update constraints, very simple. Something like this. If you will make a background color of this button, so you will see the difference. I'll select a random color. So here we go. Now they are having the equal heights. Okay. So actually this is how we have configured our text fields to appear as in the original Facebook app. Okay, then, and now we will go to our buttons and the lines in the lower part of the screen. Okay, let's go then.